Good Sunday morning. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We are starting off with a very foggy morning here across the Houston area. A pleasant afternoon expected, but temps remaining mostly warm through the next couple of days. This is actually staring out of a camera looking at the runway at Bush Airport. You just really cannot see outside right now in some locations, especially on the north side of town. Temperatures at 51 degrees, calm conditions, but we are expecting it to remain foggy at least for another couple of hours. However, if you are in Galveston, temps are mostly pleasant as well, but it is not as foggy. Most of this fog is just hugging our inland areas and just kind of encompassing most of Houston, but we're off to a very gorgeous start. I was going to get rid of that temperature graphic there as we just kind of admire the clear conditions that are in place across the Galveston area. So we have Mardi Gras going on. We also have our Super Bowl Sunday. So of course the coastal areas definitely starting off mostly clear. 58 degrees out in Galveston. This as we take a look at Pleasure Pier. It's 28th Street and the seawall. But hourly planner. Temps topping out in the upper 70s for this afternoon. 77 degrees for 3 p.m., 4 p.m. 76. Partly cloudy conditions, some for the most part, but we will see mostly pleasant temperatures and feel good temperatures going into this afternoon, especially as that fog will be ending at least by 10 o'clock this morning. So expect the sun to eventually make its appearance as once this fog does clear, but we're also going to remain cooler along the coast as well. So if you are heading out to Galveston, you might just want to bring a light sweater if you are heading towards the coast. We're at this time of year where the Gulf is actually keeping our coastal areas a little bit cooler than our inland areas. As far as your travel forecast, high temps remaining mostly warm. We do have some increasing clouds expected heading into portions of central Texas, and we're also looking at a rain chance on the way for us here across Houston going into Tuesday. But if you're heading out right now, here's a look at the current visibilities. Up down to 0 at Sugarland and Pearland, less than half a mile of portions of across Hobby Airport. So you're able to see where you see this gray color right here. That's just where all the fog is, and it's completely encompassing much of the Houston area. So the National Weather Service keeping that dense fog advisory in place until 10 o'clock this morning, and that does include Harris County and most of our populated areas. We have a high pressure system that was currently over Texas that has starting to move off towards the east, towards the deep south, and now we're starting to see some impacts from this disturbance that's now moving in to portions of central Texas, and you're able to see some of these showers. I think we might even see some of these showers start moving into our outlying areas later on this evening, and so we got to keep an eye on that, but other than that, we will see that rain chance be in the picture for Tuesday, likely Monday and into Tuesday is where we're going to see this low pressure system start moving into portions of Texas, eventually bring a chance for a few showers and maybe a storm or two heading into Tuesday afternoon, but we are expecting the chance for maybe just like a little bit of a rainy impact for Tuesday. And we do need the rain because mostly seeing drought conditions starting to spread across the area, especially as that extreme drought is starting to creep in closer towards portions of western Harris County. Looking at our temperature outlook, it's going to be warmer than normal as we head into February 14th through February 18th. And so our average high for this time of year usually in the upper 60s. High temps are going to be in the upper 70s. So definitely a warm outlook as we head into the next 10 days. But we are expecting those conditions to remain mostly pleasant. Just really looking at that fog as we take a live look out of our camera there. 51 degrees. Sunset will be at 6:05 this evening. Sun setting later in the day as our days are becoming longer. But as far as your 7-day forecast, those high temps topping out in the 70s, lows in the 50s and 60s, 30% chance of showers heading into Tuesday, and then even into Wednesday and Thursday, we will see those temps just remain warm with overnight lows into the 50s, with another little disturbance moving in on Friday that could bring even more rain chances. So as we look currently at our sunrise and sunset, we are expecting it to be a little bit we had the sunrise at 7:06, sunset was going to be at 6:05 this evening, and so that's the good news in all of this. But as we go into looking currently right now across the area, some areas are actually clearing as the sun continues rising. We're going to take a look across southeast Texas with our little graphic here that's not really loading right now, but there it is. We're seeing Galveston mostly clear, Bush Airport foggy, Galleria area looking across from the KHOU 11 roof cam, mostly foggy as well. We have Buffalo Bayou that was seeing a little bit of clearing, but there is some isolated areas that does have some clearing. But if you are making your way across much of the city, we are looking at that dense fog that is in place, and that is why the National Weather Service is continuing that dense fog advisory until 10 o'clock this morning. And this does include Harris County and for areas along the coastal areas going into this afternoon. So if you're just now joining us, this is our extended forecast on KHOU 11+. Radar is looking mostly quiet. We're not looking at any rain chances. We do have some showers starting to approach from the west, especially for portions of central Texas. This is all thanks to a disturbance that's now moving in from the west, and that is going to bring us some rain chances heading into Tuesday. So as we go into looking at those current conditions right now, if you're heading out the door, temps are in the lower 50s. I think you might need a light sweater if you are heading out across the area, but those winds are also calm as well. So wind speeds, calm winds. We're starting to see some of this Gulf moisture return back into the picture, and that's really what's causing the foggy conditions. And so winds are not really as strong as well. But as far as your hourly planner, those high temps topping out in the mid to upper 70s for the 3 p.m. hours. So definitely expecting more of a warm outlook going into this afternoon, and you're really just not going to need those jackets, especially if you are out partying for the Super Bowl watch parties. We're just looking at those conditions be mostly just a bit on the more calm side and pleasant side as we go into the next few days. Right now, this is looking out at the medical center. This is looking at Herman Park. You just really can't tell where this is looking at because that's just how foggy it is out there. Can't emphasize enough to be extra cautious if you are driving across southeast Texas this morning, because we are looking at some very foggy conditions. Personally, myself, coming into work this morning at around 4 a.m., I really couldn't see that far in front of me as cars were sort of going to a crawl. And we did have some cars had their emergency flashers on, and that actually helped. I was able to see them a little bit easier when it came to the emergency flashers, but just keep in mind that we are going to continue this fog at least until 10 o'clock this morning. And that was the medical center. This is looking at Bush Airport. This is just kind of showing you how widespread the fog is. So looking at Bush Airport on the north side of town, you just really can't see out there. So give yourself enough time heading to the airport if you do have to catch a flight, but temperatures about 51 degrees and calm conditions. Unlike Galveston, Galveston's mostly clear. We're seeing not any foggy conditions, just calm waters. We're starting to see some increasing clouds moving into our coastal areas, but Galveston is looking fantastic, 58 degrees. It's a little bit warmer. Keep in mind that we will see those temps really not warm up all that much for this afternoon out in Galveston, because of course during this time of year, the Gulf usually does keep the temperatures out along the coast a little bit on the cooler side. So for your hourly planner, for our inland areas, high temps topping out in the mid to upper 70s, partly cloudy skies expected for today as we're starting to see some of that cloud cover move in from this little disturbance moving in from the west. But we're going to see those pleasant temps this afternoon, warming up into the upper 70s across the area. So as our travel forecast, if you're heading across the state, you might run into some showers for areas out towards the east, but it's just the fog that we're currently looking at least until 10 a.m. And that's the reason why the National Weather Service is keeping that dense fog advisory in place until 10 o'clock this morning. So radar right now, quiet for Houston, but if you, like I said, if you're coming in from the west or if you're heading out west, you might run into a few little isolated showers, especially to the west of San Antonio and Austin. And some of those showers are actually making their way into the Dallas-Fort Worth area currently right now. And it's all thanks to this low that's starting to move into the western portions of the state. And as we go into Tuesday, we will start seeing some of that rain chance start increasing for us for Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning, and we can't rule out maybe a strong storm or two like we saw this past Tuesday. So we're just going to have to watch Tuesday pretty closely. It's still early enough to whether or not we're going to do a weather impact alert day for Tuesday, but we are watching that pretty closely as we head into the next few days. But we do need the rain. Drought conditions increasing, warmer than normal conditions expected from February 14th through February 18th. As far as your 10-day high temperature trends, high temps in the 70s. We are not going to really cool off all that much. We're not expecting any freezing temperatures or any winter-like conditions as we head into the next 7 days. We're just looking at mostly pleasant temperatures as we head out the door for this morning. As far as your 7-day forecast, high temps in the 70s, lows in the 50s and 60, 30% chance of showers and storms for Tuesday. We do have another system moving on the way for Friday that will bring the chance for some more isolated storms. So we're watching that pretty closely. But as you look at those temperatures for the next 7 days, we're just really not cooling off all that much. It's going to be mostly pleasant. You're not really going to need those jackets as you're making your way into or out the door for the morning hours and even the afternoon hours. Perfect for those outdoor activities. And of course, that's all I have for you in terms of our forecast for the next 7 days to start your week off. Thank you for watching KHOU 11 Plus. I'm meteorologist Ramirez with the KHOU 11 weather team. Have a great rest of your Sunday.